Yo, what's going on, guys? Lil Xan, aka Diego. I'm here with the good people over at Buzz Access. We have a lot in store, a lot coming. Took a lot of time off from music. I'm gonna say like it's back from the dead, you know? But I'm happy to be back, happy to show people a different side of me. And I'm excited for them to listen to the new EP coming out soon and the new single. So, yeah, exciting time. I wanted to be, I guess, a big camera person or something. You know, I fell in love with the culture of everything. You know, it almost now it would be considered SoundCloud, the SoundCloud era. But at the time, it didn't even have that name yet. You know, we were just throwing stuff on SoundCloud. It didn't really have that name. But it was just a wild time. Well, I got the name Lil Xan. I would say 2016 was the year that I saw very minimal, but like just enough to let me know like, okay, I should keep pursuing this pathway, which was music. And you know, I would get like 10,000 plays here, 20,000 plays there. But at the time I was like, well, I've never had 10,000, 20,000 anything, you know what I mean? Yeah, so it was just a wild time, and we were just throwing these songs on SoundCloud, and then they just gradually started going up, you know, and people started to take notice to the app and all the amazing artists that have come, you know, from that platform and are still coming from that platform. It was like all the stars aligned. It was a moment in time. No matter how people feel about it, if they love it or hate it, it was a moment in time that was special, that could only have existed right then and there. And you know, I'm, I guess, just a product of that whole, you know, like it's like a big bang, you know, of SoundCloud. You know, I'm just a product of one of those things. But I'm very grateful, you know, obviously, to be here. Very grateful. So I would say, yeah, it started, just a simplified version. It started South by Southwest 2016 was when I started pursuing music. Yeah, the Roxy Los Angeles, I would say. I would probably, maybe it was like late 2016. It could have been early 2017. That was, I had opened up for a few bigger artists to, you know, to get like, my feet on the ground in that kind of business of performing. And then I was headed to do my first actual concert as a headliner at the Roxy. It's a good venue, like 300 people. But I didn't know what to expect, because now that you asked that, I think, looking back, I think my managers at the time and people, they purposely let me think that it might be a disaster, because they didn't, like, it was completely sold out. But nobody treated it like that before it hit there, you know? Maybe they were doing that to excite me or something, I don't know. But I was nervous leading up to it, because it didn't sound like that many people were gonna show up. And this is like big, this is your big first show, you know? And at the Roxy, it's a very respectable venue, very legendary in LA. But yeah, when I got there, it was packed out. It was an amazing feeling. And when I got on stage, I mean, we still had wired mics. We were early on in our careers. And yeah, just seeing all I couldn't believe that many people had even just come out to see me, you know, just were in a room, you know, to see me and listen to my lyrics, you know. And I remember that was the first moment I heard them recite this stuff. And yeah, I mean, it makes you almost like want to cry, you know. I don't think I'd cry. I think I was kind of sick that night, actually, unfortunately. But I don't even think I could process it until like a couple of days later. It was, yeah, mind-blowing. Looking back at it now that I've talked to, you know, some important people in my life, and they've given me a different perspective, because I used to hate that album, you know. I used to just dislike everything about it. You know, that's probably like an artist thing when it comes, you know. But I just did not like it, and I just felt like it wasn't that much of me at the time. But now, like, I'm fast forward to today, yeah, bro, I think it's a classic. You know, art, it's literally not like, and people can give me shit for whatever, bro. It's a classic. It was a part of that generation. Love it or hate it, it's a classic, and that's the best thing we can do, is make classics, you know? stuff that's gonna live on past us. You know, someone's gonna stumble upon that when I've passed away, you know, and it's insane. Another part of why I think I disliked it so much is I was heavily, let's just say, sedated probably during a lot of it. But as I've gotten older, I've grown a different perspective and maturity for how music can be created in the sense that, yeah, you could be on drugs and make great music. I'm not even arguing against that. You can be on drugs and make great music, but you can also be creative and make great music, you know? All I say is you're just gonna get two different types of greatnesses in a way, you know? Don't interpret that in a crazy way, but that's just how I look at it. But it was definitely a product of me, yeah, being heavily sedated off a lot of Xanax. It just mostly Xanax at the time. I had a really bad case of like anxiety, you know, like that's what started it all. But looking back at that album, it's a classic. It was a different time, and I'm happy that it exists. You know, it's all part of just growing. You know, just growing. I appreciate the fans because I've taken an enormously, I mean, it's been over a year, but that's an enormous time to take off from music, you know. You're gonna see a lot of down when you wanna see up when you take your time, you know. But I just wanna, you know, say how appreciative I am of the fan base because I felt like they allowed me to, they saw where I was at and they allowed me to take some time off to not only get healthy and better myself, but just to define myself and to you know, just to realize what truly is important in life and certain things. You know, I'm not all enlightened in there yet. Obviously, I'm 26, you know, but I've done a lot of improvements and a lot of growing since then, and I'm very proud of it. Every artist probably has feelings of doubt like that. Like if I switch up the sound too much, maybe I won't have that loyal fan base like I used to, because you know they're gonna, well, you know, maybe they're just used to this. But that's the great thing about music, man. You can look at so many different artists' discographies and line of work, you know, and the better artists always tend to have just a cool, just whatever you want to call it, like a level of evolution every album. And you know, like Kendrick is a good example, Mac Miller is a good example. Every album is great and different, and it just keeps evolving as it gets on, you know. And just like what I'm doing with my next project, I love the last project, but this is to me, like, I know it's my second, but it feels really like the first in a way. It's truthful, it's mature, it's that evolution that I always wanted from my music, and that's what makes it so exciting. It probably was a lot of moments, you know, that led to it ultimately. You have to want to change to change. Like it has to come from within. And I tried to get sober in the past a bunch of times, but to no avail, you know, it didn't work out all that good. But then I went to a couple detox centers, still messed up a little bit when I got out, but it put me on the right path, and then I just eventually quit. But I mean, as far as like a bounce back moment, yeah, I would say over a year ago when I first got fully sober, like I would, you know, dabble every once a month, you know, I wouldn't go into that full craze. But after I started taking it more serious, that was my bounce back moment over a year and like 6-7 months ago. That's how long I've been sober. The music's gonna sound different because I'm in a different place. I'm older now. I was a lot younger. But I was just playing. I don't listen to my music very often, but I was playing the old stuff the other night, and I was like, man, like this is good stuff. It's timeless, you know. It fits perfectly where it's at, and I'm very proud of it. And then I'll play the new stuff, and it's insane. It's like day and night, you know. It's different. It's the total opposite. It's just exciting. I'm excited for people to hear it. It's a more mature, real, truthful kind of me. Yeah, as far as lyrically and lyrics go, of course, you know, there's always gonna be similarities that keep it all in line with the kind of Lil Xan formula, I guess that's what you want to call it. Like, you know, very monotone voice, very raspy, kind of in and out there, but you know, it's like the evolution of just that, you know, like what they used to call mumble rap. It's more coherent, you know, obviously. It's a lot more instruments, you know. I wish I would have implemented more live guitars and pianos in some of my previous music. So there's a lot more art in it. I look at it a lot more, just every instrument you can think of, you know. Just I love that, you know.
God, I pray this ends. I need more love and way less sin. I'm looking for a way. I'm thinking this might just be it. Can't control the feeling from within. Yeah.
I definitely have so much love and respect for that platform. You know, I wouldn't be who I am without that platform. Do I think it is where it used to be? Hell no. Hell no. You know what I mean? Is it viable? I don't know. Probably not. It seems like probably not. I wouldn't imagine, but maybe. But that's just me being realistic. You know, it was an era, the SoundCloud era. I think that there's still probably some artists, and there's still a great potential for someone big to come out of SoundCloud. But no, hell no. It's not in the same spot. Hell no. That's a way in the past. Yeah, the next single is coming out June 30th. Yeah, and it's titled NoDa, short for Not on Drugs Anymore. And like that's just the whole thing, you know. That's what we're going for. We've always been anti-drugs, but you know, I was lying to people saying I was sober when I wasn't, you know. So but now that I'm actually sober, I feel comfortable to revive the brand, Xanarchy, the brand. And with NoDa, it's like the whole just evolution of everything, even just the brand. Like we'll always keep Xanarchy there, but NoDa is the next chapter of everything. It's a single and it's the name of a single, but it's like a movement. It's the next Xanarchy in a sense. It's the next thing that I'm pushing for and working on. You know, what I would tell people, the fans, just regular people that are listening or care, you know, it gets better. Time heals all wounds. I've been in places where I felt like it was unescapable, the darkest of the dark, can't get out the box, like I'm stuck, that there's only one way out, you know, and it just took some time. It took a year, a couple years, maybe some more, but time heals all wounds, and it might take a long time, or it might take a little bit of time. Everybody's different, everybody's journey is different. You just gotta hold in there, you know. There's hope, man. But you have to want it. It has to come from within. Like nobody can help you but yourself. So just maybe learn yourself as well as you think you can. I don't even know myself to my best, you know. But that's the whole journey. It's the whole journey. You know, I want to get back into this full throttle, and I am, and I have an amazing team now that's helping me out. So shout out to them. But yeah, it's like a revival. It's all those words in the one, you know. I say this a lot. Like I wish I could have had this kind of mindset and mentality back a few years ago. So I'm happy to be healthy, and I'm happy to, you know, I've done a lot of growing up. I have grown up in this, you know. This is all I know almost. I'm almost 27 now, so evolution. It's crazy. Yeah. NoDa is coming out June 30th. The pre-save drops. It'll be tomorrow, but I don't know when this comes out, so it's just out now already. Yeah, so go check that out on June 30th. And I have a show in Los Angeles, July 9th at 1720. At 1720, this is my first show in Los Angeles in a couple years, so it's very special. This is like my home base, I guess I'll call it. So come out to that, and a new EP is coming out later this year, and I'm excited to show everybody what I've been working on. Yo, what's up? It's Lil Xan, aka Diego, and you just been buzzed.